And we are live. Welcome, everyone. It is your six cover. Appreciate you showing up. Today, we got a special guest. I have scavenged the earth to find a Matt P double, stunt double, and I have found one. Right now, he's got some coffee grounds on his lip, but let's give it up for my buddy Eagle Eye shooting. Look at that, Matt P almost.
He doesn't eat as much rice as I do.
Oh man, you got a little something right here. I don't know what that is right there. You got a little something.
That's 3 months of sriracha sauce.
Really go live. You might want to get some of that, whatever you got. Are we going 60s porn style? What are we rolling today?
I'll give you a mustache ride.
How you doing, Eagle Eye shooting?
That's not this kind of show.
Hopefully you're doing well. And here, get your ass in there. Let's see who first place was, because we got to know who's first place real quick. We did get a chance to shoot.
Bunny Fart Loads.
Bunny Fart Loads. Welcome. Talking Rocks, Gold, DW45 Auto, Thomas Rowland, Carl Kane, Tim Cook, Steve Healy, Ranger 10 millimeter. And we got Thriller, Rob, Joe Dowdy, Commando 97, Smoky Mountain Boys. What's up, Smoky Mountain Boys? I saw you texting me for me. Robert Warren, Thriller, Rob, Daniel, God is my judge. Jared Parker, Idaho Rogers. What the hell? I'm getting all jacked up. Robert Warren, Michael C. How you doing? And John Townley. I think I got everybody. Ronald Wilson. Did I miss anybody? Hopefully not. If I did, type something down below. El Gato Grande 964 in the house. And John Jeffrey, Doug B. and Grinding Dust. All right, let's have some fun. We are in the dark. We're having fun. Eagle Eye, how you been today? What did you do today?
Did some shooting with the 223 AI. Took out the H tripod, shot the 6 arc, had my son get behind some barricades out to 780 yards. But before any of that, we have 44 watching and 26 thumbs up. What's up with that?
What the hell?
What the hell? Thumbs up, everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I did today. I had some fun, basically shooting, just having fun with the 6 arc and just the 223 AI and trying to get that dialed in. But I don't have a full length size and die, so I try to use size brass from another rifle, and that did not work at all.
So what did you say you were shooting today?
223 AI. It's a
yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, this one's a Remington 700 build as well, but it was a Sendero contour and shoot some 88 grain bullets. But the brass I was using was from another rifle that was fire formed already, and that's a no-no, which I should have went with my gut, but that's all I had loaded up.
All right, we got a few other stragglers in the house that just showed up. We got Ramsey Country, Eric. We got Jagaki and Armament and Axis. Hello, welcome to the show. We're just getting started. We haven't even said who the sponsor is tonight. You got your sponsor? All right, sponsor for the night is Milo Sweet Tea and Diet Coke. So that's who we got going today as our big sponsor, riding the waves out there as well. Appreciate everybody showing up. We'll have some fun. We did get a chance to hang out with Matt P today and do some shooting with his rifle, and it worked out well at the end, right?
It did. It worked out very well.
Didn't work out well in the beginning, worked out well in the end. Now, why do you think it didn't work out well in the beginning there, Mr. Ray Mundo?
Okay, so just a little bit of backstory. Kenny was nice enough to basically build a rifle for Matt. Matt basically paid for his services to build a really nice 6mm Creedmoor. He used the TL3, the Bighorn action, I believe, on that one, and it has a. That was a Bartland or a Douglas?
Bartland.
That was a Bartland custom contour.
Yeah, Bartland custom contour. What we mean is it's so custom that at the action, it is 1.25 inches, 1.25 inches, and it tapers down to 1.1 at the muzzle. So it's fatter than an MTU contour. So basically, and I know the lighting's bad, but it was getting a reflection up here earlier. So we'll turn the light up here in just a minute, not blow out the screen too much. But anyway, so as he was breaking it in, we were using Hornady 6mm factory ammunition, and it did not print that well.
It was bad.
And so for somebody that's going for, let's say, a custom build, this is no reflection on Kenny, because what we did is I was like, look, don't get disheartened. I'll do it, dude. Every rifle's a little different. It might not like the Hornady match ammo. I gave him some of my hand loads that I knew were safe, and it printed a clover leaf like no one's business. So it's a great rifle. He was happy once he saw that. He was like, man, do I want to shoot that? And I said, harmonics, man. You just never know. I mean, it's just some rifles like match ammo and some don't.
Yeah, it did not print well, but match ammo. Well, that's the thing. If you're going to shoot 6 Creedmoor, you have to be a reloader.
I would not recommend 6 Creedmoor to anyone unless they were going to hand load. Now, I do want to address one thing. I'll make it really quick. I did have a lot of emails this morning with regards to my comment yesterday about the 6 ARC. Kenny, I'm going to go ahead and just tell everyone, if that's okay. I'm not throwing Kenny under the bus, but you guys know that Kenny here actually built the 6 ARC for me. However, I do like the bigger truck axles. And the problem is when Kenny got the barrel in, the contour was not what we thought it was going to be. And at the time, we just wanted to get it done. I told him to go ahead and do it. And I like the 6 ARC. And some guys were saying, are you disappointed with it or anything? And I'm not disappointed with 6 ARC in general. I know, Kenny, you've been shooting the 6 ARC. How far?
Yeah, today my son was shooting off the barricades, 780 yards, and had a good 12-mile-per-hour crosswind. Easy 10-inch plate. And this is somebody that's just getting into positional shooting.
Yeah. What's the furthest you've shot the 6 ARC with repeatability?
1,800 yards. I kid you not. It's actually, I was really surprised with a 115 grain, even with the slow speeds, I was seeing the impacts right there.
Yes. So there was someone last night, I think it was DW, he commented and he goes, that's or no, it wasn't DW, it was, I think it was Todd. He said 700 yen. I was like, no, that cartridge with hand loads out of a bolt gun is easily a 1,000-yard gun without any issues. My only complaint, I'm just being honest with you guys, is it took us a while to find magazines that could actually work. The solution was the MDT magazine for the 224 Valkyrie. However, this was the caveat, and I didn't get to finish yesterday. It only holds 8 rounds. You're going to be at a huge disadvantage unless you can find magazine extensions and springs and everything else to where you're holding 10 as a minimum, in my opinion. Kenny, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's Chicken Hawk here. But I reached out to MKM Machining. They actually started making magazine extensions out of their new center 3D printer they have, and they told me that they do have magazine extensions that they believe will work up to 13 rounds. So I have yet to confirm that. So I did order some. When I get those in, I can say yes or no. Right now, like they're saying, 7 rounds.
It'll be completely
round mag, but you put the 8th round in there, and that's super hard to manipulate. So it's basically 7 rounds.
I'd like to welcome Chicken Hawk to the chat. Welcome, Chicken Hawk. Did you have fun with your dad today shooting 700 yards?
Yeah.
Is it a lot tougher shooting positional than it is prone? I'm sure I know this answer.
I think it's kind of the same. What?
You got some skills there, buddy. You got some skills.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he practiced off we set up basically a pallet out there. We put two stakes, put the pallet up upright, and used it as levels. And we shot off tires. We shot prone. We had transitional targets, but we kept knocking out the 300-yard plate. Every time we hit it, it just flew off. So.
Nice.
That's all. Mac Eve's got a good question.
Yeah, to answer Jakaki first, he was asking about a 5.56 load for a 69 grade Spear Match King. And guys, don't take this for gospel. Always work up your loads because every rifle is different. But 25.1 grains of Skiffy 223 is a great 3-gun intermediate range load for an AR. I typically don't share data like that, but we do share it, and
We do.
work out at your own accord. But 25.1 or 25 flat seems to work well on almost all rifles. I really haven't seen many rifles that don't print well with that one.
Yeah, 6 cents here.
Have you ever shot this load down there, Kenny?
I haven't shot the 69 grain with CFE. I usually use Varget, but
Yep.
I heard a lot of good things about it. I shot 55 grains with a CFE, and then up to a 75 grain with that powder, and had pretty good results with it.
Yeah.
Nice. Hidden Steel. Our buddy Junior's out there from California, from the Hidden Lands. Bad Billy 429 Abigail.
Yeah. He's got a SRPR. He should show that off someday.
Smoky Mountain wants to build some ammo.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks,
Yeah.
AA.
Getting close. What we got? 5 more days?
Yeah, you guys get your shopping done?
Nope.
Ain't nobody got time for that. We were shooting today. We don't got time for that. No, I'm in charge of stocking stuff.
I'll let you spill the beans there, Hitting Steel.
Did you ever mention how John's rifle did with the Shooter's World? I never got. They shot good. I think I have it.
That's what we should work on there, Rick, is some Shooter's World powder, because H4350 is hard to find right now.
Well, if my buddy wouldn't have shot the damn Magneto speed, I would have got some speed.
So, Brian Duchesne, to answer this comment, I think Kenny's going to agree on this. Grendel magazines for bolt gun. I don't know. Do you know of any, Kenny?
Not an AICS mag.
Yeah, so almost all of us shoot the AICS mags, and so I don't know anything that's Grendel specific on that.
So I actually do have data, Kenny, for the Shooter's World.
Okay.
350. You can kind of see it there. The problem is I don't know the speed. So I got groups. But
why don't you know the speeds?
Because we don't shot the damn Magneto speed, did Jackalope.
You got a mouse in your pocket.
Well, we meaning my boy Cotterman. After midnight tonight. Oh, happy birthday, Thomas.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, my friend. Hopefully you're 21 all over again. Spill the beans, Kenny. We can still say.
I'll let him do it. He has an RPR he needs to show off. That thing is a friggin' shooter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, you got to shoot with Hidden Steel the other day, didn't you? Or was that? No, that was
us and him. Actually, we're hoping to get together since we're not too far away from all of each other. We'll get together one day and all hang out. So, but no, he picked up his RPR the other day. Went out there, and within the first 10 shots, that thing was putting some crazy groups. So I'm actually pretty surprised that. And we're actually testing out the theory of cryogenic treatment on the barrel. So far, the chrono numbers are looking promising.
You just throw some liquid ice down the barrel and then shoot?
Yeah, right, some light. Yeah, dude,
you don't watch too many Terminator and whatever, 3, 2,
yeah.
what the hell that shit is.
No, I'm squinting because of the light overhead, but everything's good. Hope you've been doing well. I hope you've been getting some sleep.
Yeah, Michael C. So the plan was that I got a pet load for the 6.5 Creedmoor, the Tika, and we were basically going to try to. That's with the Hodgdon H4350, but I wanted to try to use Shooter's World 4350 with the same bullet, everything the same, except figure out what grains I would need. Normally I shoot 41 grains. How many more grains it'll take to get the same velocity using Shooter's World and see what prints the best. So only half the data was good, which sucked. So when you shoot the chronograph, your whole scientific testing data goes right out the window.
Didn't you buy a Magneto speed though?
Huh?
Did you buy a magneto speed, or that's what you shot?
That's what I shot. I shot Ray's magneto.
He shot mine. So,
and if you haven't seen that,
so to answer some questions, we are going to keep the extra display. We did source another bayonet through a really, really good friend. So we will be back up and running hopefully by tomorrow or the next day. We could always fall back on the lab radar if we needed to, but
the lab radar is the way to go, though. For this type of
radar is
yes,
lab radar is on a 22.
No, not on a 22. What I'm saying is for the testing I was doing.
Yep.
Instead of having to shoot, basically attach this.
Yep.
Knowing that I wasn't going to be able to shoot groups.
Yep.
And then getting data, and then I'd have to shoot groups. You'd be able to do both.
So why didn't you take the lab radar?
And you wouldn't, and this wouldn't have happened. Shut up.
Yeah. No, it's a
that right there?
question. Because I get a lot of people.
I'm not smart enough to get.
No, I get a lot of people that ask me, "Do you like the magneto speed or the lab radar?" It depends on what I'm doing with it. For a 22, give me the magneto speed all day long.
Yes. But you got to understand that you have to put in bullet weights and caliber, and it's probably very simple. But if it's not your machine and you're not used to using that machine, this would have been the better idea. Except you can actually shoot this damn thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it is over there, but I've seen a lot of guys rock out the magneto speed before matches. They don't have, they told me it's a lot faster, but I'm not sure, just the setup is a lot longer, like they're saying with the magneto speed.
No.
Okay, so Brian Duchesne, here you go, Kenny. So Kenny and I are actually collaborating on this right now, okay? The question is, are you going to use e-paper on your new day's data card holders? I've found readily available one. I'm going to play and see if I can get it and Streamlock to communicate. It uses if it uses NFC transmission. That's the one Kenny and I are kind of collaborating on right there. And that's not a bad setup, but it needs a housing. And so designing the app for an Apple, Android's not so bad, but for Apple, the NFC is a little difficult. So we're hoping we can, and I hope it's good to talk about this, Kenny, but we're actually hoping we can bring something to market that's going to be a little more cost effective than the other product that's out there in the market right now, and hopefully do a lot more.
Yeah. It is a great product that's out there right now, but you just trying to be intuitive and bring something else out there that folks may like some features that this one has versus other ones. So you never know.
What's Ramsey Country's comment? Is that WN?
Try WN 150 instead of H 4350. It's slightly fast. I just picked up 16 pounds of Vitavore 150.
Is that what that is? Vitavore?
2 8-pound jugs.
See, that's my problem too. I can't find any Vitavore powder out here at all. It's like rare. All the bench press guys swoop it up if there is any.
Well, that's what telling you right there that it works well. That's called a clue.
Yeah. So the powder I want to try out, and these are what's supposedly advertised from Shooter's World, are these two powders are close. This one's slower than 4350. It's actually the slowest on the burn rate chart. It's more like, I'd say, reloaded 26. And then long rifle is supposed to be equivalent to the 4350 Hodgdon. So we'll find out on that.
Yeah, just more testing and shooting the chronograph.
Yeah.
Armament axes. That's shooting competition.
On the one wheel.
Yeah, it sounds like an accident waiting to happen.
It wouldn't be the first one. I remember that one day. I remember 2 days. I remember one where I fell down the hill, and then I remember that live chat.
Yeah.
How many of you guys remember seeing the live chat of me and Ray racing, me on foot and Ray on the one wheel? Did you ever see that video?
Yeah, Brian Duchesne, we do have this covered. We actually have someone that's an app engineer, and he says he's got it in the bag. So we'll see.
Yeah.
The 2 mile guys use the WH.
All right, so after last night's chat, I went home and I stayed up till about 5:30 this morning doing a lot of research on the structured barrels. Kenny, I want to get your take on it because I read every single article that was available. I watched every video that was out there on it, whether it was from Vibrosaurus Rex or whether it was Sniper's Hide, because I said some things last night that I still stand behind what I said, but I wanted to be a little more informed about it. And I know that there are some pro shooters shooting the ELR, these King of 2 Miles and all that, some of these structured barrels. But that's not what I wanted to see on it, because I'm not shooting 2 miles, I'm not shooting 3 miles, and there's a lot of arguments both ways about it. I actually almost pulled the trigger on one last night until I started adding everything up, because you're going to pay about. It's a really unique concept, and I don't want to write off anything, but you're basically going to have close to $2,000 in this barrel if you have everything done. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot for a barrel that's going to be a consumable, depending on if you're putting in a 6 or 6 Creed or something like that. And almost all the rifles they were doing their testing with are huge. They're big bore guns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's ever going to migrate into just, normal long range shooting, not ELR shooting. But it's unique to study. What are your thoughts on it, Kenny?
Like you're saying, there's a lot of folks testing it. I'm not going to deny that there's results being made, but I'm just one to test for myself as well to make sure that's true. So maybe one day I'll get one.
Yeah.
I know that every time you drill holes down something, all of that heat, and heat affects the metallurgy of the barrel or the piece of metal. So it creates hard spots, like you tunneling under the ground. You got hard spots, you got soft spots. So how they can mitigate the harmonics with that, I don't know. I just know from machining, from my experience, that's usually not what you want to do. You want to not affect the material as much as possible.
Yeah. Now, TACCOM is basically who does it, and they do the Charlie Terac, the Prism units. They're really well known. They make some really unique pieces.
Right.
The engineering is there, and the guy has a huge background in it, especially with harmonic vibrations and heat and all of that. They're also making claims that barrel with the structuring also assists with cooling. So now you can get 4,000 rounds out of a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel without any type of accelerated wear in the chamber. It's great. And, Tempersaurus Rex, well respected in the community, but it was a lot of his thoughts of explaining how it worked. But I want to see somebody do it with a regular rifle because, okay, let's face it, guys, everybody that's listening, if this is your hobby or if this is your living or this is what you're doing to make money, $2,000 is a small price to pay,
right, if
it's got the results behind it, okay? So, Kenny, these guys that are building these custom guns, you're going to end up spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 depending on how you outfit it and everything. What's that extra? Honestly, $1,500 to $1,200 to $1,500 if that barrel is that much better. And I'm not like I said, I'm not doubting it. Now, I was bit by the snake once before. If you guys, and hopefully I'm not stepping on any toes
here comes some toes, some mashing.
How many of you guys have ever owned or have one of the Telludine barrels? Teludyn.
Yeah.
I actually took a work gun and sent it off, and the work gun was a solid 3/4 minute rifle. We sent it off to Telludine. It came back. It was lucky to hold a minute and a half. Okay.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Nothing like going backwards.
Oh, it went backwards in a big way. So I went and met with those guys and I said, look, we're not satisfied with this. We took a perfectly good rifle and made it a horrible rifle that's unusable for what we need to do. And we got it back and it was the exact same thing again. So look, I get, I'm not opposed to trying new things. Just like I tried that, I'm not opposed to trying one of these, but honestly, when you start looking at it, I don't want to be the first one to try it. I want to hear more about it. And there's not much information on it.
Hey, do you got a case stuck in that dial?
No, I had a decapping pin popped up.
Oh, gotcha.
Never going to get stuck. You use your own lube.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would say, what do you think on Eric's? It seems like a heat sink harmonic deal.
Yeah, so Mackev hit it on the head. This is what they're claiming. And this was the big point in the videos and everything that I read, is they're saying that structure barrels, it doesn't matter what weight bullet or charge that you're shooting, because it deadens the harmonics. It's harmonically dead. It will continually shoot the same hole regardless of the bullet weight. Okay, that's the claim. That is the claim.
Yeah, to me, that's some pretty big claims, and that for the ELR shooter, that's where you could benefit off the extra velocity. So that's a huge claim to put out there. What I would like to see is them actually provide barrels for testing for actually reputable gun shops that build rifles. And like you said, I just build a 416 Barrett or a Shytac, build a Creedmoor 308 something. Right. Actually verify, hey, we all know 308s can be picky, or a 6.5 can be picky. Can we push a 6.5 Creedmoor at 3,000 feet a second with a 150 grain projectile and get the accuracy we want? That's where it's going to shine to me, if it's claiming to be that.
Yes.
All right, so Rick says he can be the guy that rides the Walmart shopping cart collector. Hey, I'm not officially retired yet. I have one more shift in January, and it sounds like it's going to be a road trip.
Yeah. So Armament Maxis says he was thinking about the suppressor video in his comments in response about baffle strikes. Can barrel harmonics with a suppressor called baffle strikes? Just thoughts.
Well,
as long as you've got a good load that's not keyholing, remember there's a lot of clearance between the bore diameter of the aperture, is what we call it, with baffles. So it would have to be a huge harmonic change to do that, I think. So I don't think. Okay, so Ramsey Country, there's his answer to it. And like I said, I'm being open-minded, but I want to see it like what you're saying, Kenny, on a 6.5 Creed or a 6 Creed or a 308. Not always big for things. They're also claiming it reduces recoil substantially. Like they're saying, like 300 Norma feels like a 6 Creedmoor or something. I don't know.
By getting rid of the harmonics?
That's what I said. There's nothing else I can read about it because all the information that I've read is out there.
Right. Well, my biggest concern is the elements that I shoot in. Obviously, it's a big sandstorm out here every time you take a shot from. Well, all of those little holes are just a way for sand to collect, and that right there could cause problems down the road. You
do know that there are open holes at the end. Yeah. Believe it or not, those don't just drill through the end of the bore, around the bore itself, but at the end it's vented. And he also has some dimpling there for extra surface area cooling and some other reasons to stop the harmonics. But then if you look at the barrel aesthetically, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing. They do spiraling with stops in it to stop any harmonics from transferring through. They call it like angel spiraling. And so it's very ununiform is the word for it. If it has a purpose, who cares how it looks, as long as it works.
Yeah, it's like one hole.
Correct. Correct.
Is it all the same material, Eric's asking?
No, it is one material, Eric. It is not multiple materials on that. Every material, let's see, he says has a fundamental frequency. So if it's harmonically dead, is it compound materials or specific alloy? Probably is what he means. No, it's just one solid piece.
One solid piece. I muted your phone, Eli. I'm just seeing if that's the noise. I'm not hearing anything now. Maybe you guys can help me out.
And you just jinxed me. We came in here, took a piece of brass from the unmoved pile and got the case stuck.
I called it.
Oh, gosh. Don't get out of here now. You're done.
Hey, that's how you learn, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to what we were talking about earlier. I had a guy email me about the Arc. He said, I'm disappointed with it. Why are you going Dasher? And honestly, I've never owned a Dasher. You guys know this. I've never been down that path. This is a chance, since I'm sending the rifle back to Kenny, to get a contour that I will be happy with. He's shaking his head. He's like, I can't believe you're sending that rifle back to me.
No, he's
shaking
his head because he can't get this damn case out of here.
Basically, it's a way for me to learn about a cartridge that I have no experience with. What are you laughing at? I had to fix one of yours last week.
I know, that's why I'm laughing.
Oh, you got it muted.
No, I don't.
No, I muted. Yeah. No, that die's done. I ain't gonna freaking go buy another 223 die now.
But yeah, it's an opportunity for me to learn about the 6-dasher, what kind of experience I'm going to have with it, you know, buying the different brass and loading that round and seeing how it works, because I already have one coming for the AI barrel. You know, I mentioned that to you guys last night, but that might just be an easy way. I'll just get up with Kenny and say, hey, I need this barrel, and we'll do 6-dasher.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
More knowledge is better, right?
We might even go get to shoot together soon. You know?
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. So,
Chicken hawk loaded the wrong bullet.
Yeah, we're looking possibly. I don't know if I can talk about it. I guess it's so. We're looking at doing a road trip here in the next week or two, and we might. I might fly up to California, and Rick's got to get a bunch of stuff back from retirement. We might make a little road trip and go and see Kenny and shoot with him for a little bit. Come down, maybe see who was it? Maybe Daniel in Texas. Do some holiday hunting.
I got to call him. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got to get all this solidified first before we start making too many plans. But it sounds like it'll be a good time.
What's up, Richard?
What's up, Otter?
yeah. What's this? So Ramsey's asking if I make my own dies. I do. I have been actually for a while. This is a blank die from PTG. And you can buy these ready to go, and I drill them through, and then I put a sizing reamer through it, or I basically make a bullet seating die out of it.
Damn, that's cool. How long something like that take to make?
Well, I'm getting a little better on the lathe. It takes about at least 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
So, speeds and feeds.
Making chips.
Right. Now, talking about the baffle strikes, I want to talk about this earlier. It's all about how that thread was cut in correlation with the bore. Is it a concentric or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, and guys, not all barrels are the same. I mean, if you're buying a off-the-shelf, the only baffle strike I've ever had in my life, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this, was on a Ruger American. And, you know, you have aligning rods. And, you know, basically you can buy these aligning rods and you can put your suppressor on there, make sure you're not getting anything. And according to the alignment rod, it was good. First round out of it, blew the end of the AAC M4 2000, put a big chink on the end of it. And I was like, crap. Well, it was that rifle. You have to make sure you're getting good. You know, there's a difference between, and Kenny will tell you this, the guy that's looking to get his barrel threaded and only wants to pay $70, there's no guarantee that that's going to be a good threading job that's going to be concentric with the bore.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to find out exactly if your barrel's turn is on centers with the bore. A lot of folks are kind of with the old school way, and it doesn't work sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the PSA AKV.
So, Kenny, do you mind explaining to some of these guys that when you get a barrel in, you have a high side, low side? I mean,
yeah, believe it or not, if you're a hobbyist and you do have a lathe and you do have a dial indicator, you'll be surprised how much of outer round your bore of your rifle is compared to the outside diameter of a barrel. So, when folks set up barrels on the lathe, especially if you're doing threading on the outside or the muzzle end, they just chuck it in with a 3-jaw chuck and go to town. I see that all the time. And that's where the baffle strike situation could come into play. Or you have a crown that's cut on the angle. And it's a very slight angle. Obviously, you can't see it with the naked eye, but that angle that's there out of round 10, 15 thousandths causes pressures or gases to push off higher on one side versus the other. And that's why sometimes you start getting striations of your impacts being off to one side.
yeah. So Shibal Siki, great point. Yeah. So he said, didn't I have the baffle strike with the PSA AKV? Yes, you are absolutely right, but it wasn't a baffle strike that damaged anything. What that literally means was it was just barely skimming the jacket, and it was enough, and it was towards the end of the suppressor where it received no damage whatsoever, but you could see a swipe. And what that was doing is it was making that bullet unstable as it was coming out. It was actually going way off to the right, I believe it was. Way off to the right. Like I'm aiming at one of the man steels and it hits the other one to the right.
Yeah.
So yes, you are correct. And that's why there are clearances built in. If you look on a lot of suppressors, you could see on the end, if you see any copper jacket or you shake it and you hear copper jacket, you're removing some of that. You are getting a baffle strike, but you might not have any visible or noticeable damage to it. So different levels of baffle strikes. This one was just so bad it actually blew the end of the. I mean, it looked like somebody looks like somebody shot a piece of steel out of the end of the suppressor.
So it looked like that pipe, that rail.
It kind of looked like that magneto speed that you shot this week. Oh, geez.
No, I was thinking of the handrail on the Sniper Is Unknown match.
Oh yeah,
Just like
the one that got all.
Come out!
Yeah.
Woo! Good Lord.
Yeah. So thanks for that, Kenny. Because a lot of people don't realize, these barrels aren't perfect. I mean, even from higher end manufacturers, you can have a little bit of basically think of out of round. It's not out of round, but you'll have a high spot and a low spot on where it's coming through the barrel itself.
Right. If you talk to really professional guys that has been around doing bench rest rifle like Gordy Gritters, the first things he's going to tell you, 5 things for making a rifle accurate. Number 1, a barrel. He's going to say that a barrel. Change your barrel out to a good known barrel reputable barrel maker, and you'll see your groups really shrink. It's kind of crazy. And like you're saying, it's all about how that barrel's made. I set my high side on my muzzle, and the last thing that bullet sees, the high side is either going to be at 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock. That way, all you're fighting is gravity, which is easily to take out with your reticle.
Yeah. So with that being said, and I know the answer to this question, but we're trying to learn here. Have you ever seen a factory premium barrel come in, and when you look down the barrel, you see just lumps up and down, waves almost?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing too that I really plan on taking Gordy's class, but he does have a lot of good points. When you chamber these barrels, you're kind of talking to the gunstick and stuff. People tend to indicate the barrel off the chamber side, well, basically the breech side. It'd be the furthest part of that chamber. Well, your bullet is going to enter 3 or 4 inches, depending on what cartridge you have. That throat, well, you could get a grizzly rod and actually see that barrel dip down, go up, go sideways, and get you out of round and show you up to a 5,000th run out, depending on the quality of the barrel. That's why when you spend extra money for a Bartlein, that's their process of drilling is crucial, and that's what you're spending your money on. Not just the rifling, but how they drill that barrel. Is it straight, and what kind of technique do they use? So that's kind of the experience that I'm getting so far lately. Is these higher end barrels are higher end because of their drilling process is a lot better compared to these lower end barrels.
That's the reason why they cost a little more.
Yeah.
Plus 5 and Ghost Room.
Plus
right?
5. What's up?
Yeah, Richard Davis says he's going to Gordy's class next month.
Nice. Oh, damn.
Dang.
Thanks, brother.
Second.
She-Ball Sicky said, send it to Kenny.
So he can cover some of her new dyes. Don't break out the belt.
Yeah, a 6 GT is what I'm working on right now. I just built a 6 by 47 Lapua. It's a variation off the 6 by 7 Lapua. It's basically a 6.5 Lapua, and all I did is took that reamer and had it grinded down to 6 mil, so it's a little bit different than the traditional 6.5 or 6 by 47 Lapua.
Someone was talking about the 6.5. What was the new round? That cartridge?
That 6.5 by Vortex, the BC, better cartridge. What do you think about that, Kenny? You weren't on here last night.
You hear anything about that?
I've never heard about that till now.
Yeah, well, Vortex has come out with a new cartridge, and it's the 6.5 BC, B as in Bravo, C as in Charlie, and I think they said better Creedmoor.
Creedmoor.
That's what it stands for. Not ballistic coefficient, better Creedmoor.
Is it more efficient with more powder, or is it?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I would assume it looks pretty damn close to it. I would assume.
I mean, there's so many 6.5 variants, it's ridiculous. You got the 6.5 by 284, which is back in the day, that was a wicked round before the PRCs were even out, So.
Redneck Prepper, I got one more January. The last one.
But did you die?
Did you die? Eric says Sheba equals Leslie Chow.
Yeah. A lot of folks are chasing these really high velocity cartridges. realistically, are you going to use that velocity for an advantage as far as taking up that ELR range, or you just want that velocity for expansion? I mean, what's the deal? Why folks really chase that 3,000 FPS? It's really not needed for most target shooters.
Yeah.
I think, who was that said that?
I do want to make this comment, and I don't know if he's watching or not, and I don't want him to take this the wrong way, because this is all about learning. I've had multiple people contact me about 300 Win Mag and 338 Lapua.
But they want to shoot
And
PRS
it's like, okay, number one, do you have a place to shoot a distance where that's needed? And almost everyone that's emailed me, furthest I can reach is about 600 yards. Well, then, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you that is not the cartridge for you. Number one, you'll never see it in PRS. Not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to be allowed, or it's going to be too much recoil. It's going to be too expensive to shoot. And, you know, it goes back to my saying, you don't know what you don't know. And I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying, from a learning perspective, why are you going after that cartridge? You know, you guys know that the Proof 6.5 PRC, I did that in a Tikka, sorry, it's in the TAC 3X. It was a Proof built rifle. That thing shoots lights out. But it wouldn't be my first choice for a PRC match. It's like, you know, right now everybody's on that 300 PRC bandwagon, which if you're shooting at those distances, 15, 1,800 yards or whatever, man, it has a huge benefit.
Sure.
But not everyone is going to ever have access to those kind of ranges. Some of you guys probably would, especially like Kenny. I mean, as far as you can see, you can shoot.
Yeah.
But here on the East Coast, that's not the case. And I'm not going to have that rifle to shoot it twice a year. It's kind of like why I don't want to get into ELR. You know, we've got to travel to Kenny's area of the country.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a build that's astronomically expensive. I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, it's twice. You spend basically twice as amount of money on an ELR rifle than like a full-blown ELR rifle compared to a custom rifle for target shooting.
Yeah. So Makib said he had just sold his 338. He joined Coleman's Creek. Now, fortunately for him, see, Coleman's Creek is where we shot that Bushnell Elite sniper when I shot it with Bryson. But up until that time, Coleman's Creek was private. That was not open to the public. So if you don't have ranges that have the range for you to enjoy that, then I've sold all my 338s. I've sold all my 50s just because places either don't allow it or I just don't have a place to stretch out that far anymore without driving a long ways.
And a tailload steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, there's cartridges out there, and the folks are putting out some amazing shots at 2,600 yards. You know, yeah, Gunfather Precision is taking a 6 Creedmoor out, 2,400 yards, I believe, was his last hit, which is amazing. You look at a typical 6 Creedmoor rifle, 6mm projectile, doing that kind of range. It all depends on what you want to do. You know, if you want to see, and he made a good point on one of his recent videos is, can you see your impacts? Roll those smaller bullets and you're at 1,500 yards, you're really not going to see your impacts, and that's where the frustration of ELR shooting begins, and that's where the 338 and all that comes into play. But realistically, like you're saying, Ray, most people don't have that kind of yardage.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with Thomas Rowland. You know, just remember, guys, velocity does not mean accuracy or consistency, and I don't want you to misconstrue what we've said to think that that's all we chase. But at the same time, I'm not going to step to a 6 Creedmoor cartridge if the velocity is, let's say, 2,400 feet per second. Okay, that's not going to do it for me, because now you're going to have too much wind drift, too much drop. Why wouldn't you just shoot a 6.5 Creedmoor? And he's exactly right, guys. You don't want to chase velocity, but you want a velocity that's going to also justify the reason for shooting that, being consistent, your wind drifts, all of that comes into play. Otherwise, I would have just stuck with the 6.5.
Yeah, if you were to get that speed,
yeah, exactly.
What's the point of the 6mm and trying to shoot factory ammo?
Yeah,
shit was.
If I had to shoot 6 ARC and shoot factory loadings, Kenny, would you even shoot that in a bolt gun with factory ammo? What's out there right now?
That's hard to say. I say the few rifles I built so far, 2 of them didn't like factory ammo, and 2 did not or did like them. I'd say no.
Well, what was your velocity like on those? 25, 26?
With the 108, I was hitting 27, 40. That's with my atmosphere over here, so I was above 27.
Okay. And then when I tried it with the ammunition that Hornady had sent me, I think I was like 26, like low 26s. You remember that?
Yeah, I believe so. It was with the 105s you were shooting, right? Like 26 or 28?
Yeah, it was really low. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I like these velocity numbers. And guys, that was a 29-inch barrel. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, you got a pretty long barrel. I got a 26 and a half, and my current load right now with the 115 VTACs are shooting 26, 58 is what I'm metering out here with CFD 223. So I can squeeze out more if I find some lever evolution, but honestly, it's a really light shooting round. I like using it for practice. It's cheaper than the Creedmoor, and you can shoot. Yeah. You can shoot 40 rounds consecutively down that barrel and still hold on to that barrel. That barrel does not get hot.
Yeah.
Barrel life comes into play with that.
94 watching. Awesome.
Yeah. How many thumbs up we got? 50 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Get that thumbs up.
Let's get a thumbs up.
Jerry Parker. Parker
okay.
says 50 thumbs up. What the hell? No, that's definitely a good topic. I
would like to see some light rounds for the 6 arc in the AR. Like for instance, the 58 grain VMAX I'm shooting out of a bolt gun. That's my coyote round. That's basically a 22 250 without like a percussion and recoil. It's a laser out to 600 yards. You don't have to do any holdovers, and it drops coyotes like nothing.
In 55 grain, you said?
58 grain VMAX.
58 grain?
Yeah. And that travels at 3,540 FPS for me. So.
Well, that's kind of the armament and axes. I'll get to that comment in a second. Someone had said it well. I think it was Bad Billy. People just need to follow the leader that shoot competition. Look at Ray and the reason he no longer shoots the 308 260. There is better cartridges out there that shoot flatter, shoot better, buck the wind better, and that kind of stuff. And the problem with chasing that holy grail thing is you may end up with
you're never going to find the holy grail.
20 rifles, and at the end of the day, you spent $1 bazillion, and all you did was what?
Yeah,
got a little less recoil.
Yeah, Bad Billy. So I have a ton of respect for 308. You guys all know that I've been shooting. I was shooting 60 way back in the day, and I have a lot of respect for that cartridge. And it's not that I'm chasing it. For me, it's more of a learning experience. I mean, these guys know, the ones that actually hang around with me all the time. I just like to change things up. If it's something that I don't know, I want to find the answer to it. And I'm going to be able to speak authoritatively about something, not something that you just read about. And this is what I did. I do as much research as I can. I'm sure you do the same thing, Candy. Just like with these structure barrels, you've got to inform yourself with what information is out there. But that still doesn't make you an authority. Just like I'm not an authority on structure barrels, neither is Kenny or Rick.
Right.
But at some point, if everything goes well, I will have an opportunity to shoot that. And the more information I know about the engineering or the science behind it, the more informed of a person I can be about speaking on it. That's the way I look at it. It's about learning.
Exactly. And that's my addiction. I'm always researching. But like I said, it's all about, more time. It's new technology, so we'll see where that goes, like anything else out there. And eventually it'll get in our hands and we'll have our own test done.
Did a new A-tip come in?
Is there a different A-tip?
There should be. I thought, the 135 should have came out by now. Is that what it is for the 6.5?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll tell you, Hornady does help me out quite a bit. When the A-tips were first released in 6.5 Creedmoor, I had the 153s, and I've had 135s for almost a year now.
Yeah,
about a year or so. I have not really played around with them a whole lot. They did send me quite a bit to test back in the day, and I do like the A-tips. They are very pricey.
They look good,
but they do look good, and they do shoot very, very well. But I'm not going to say anything bad about them other than that they are pricey. They really are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I think the price is starting to come down with them, though.
Well, that's just like any new thing that comes out. It takes a little while for the price to really get down there.
Plus 5 says he's going to start using the 185 Burger Juggernauts.
Yeah, that's what I like. The Juggernauts is either the 185s or the Burger 220Xs. Those are my main two go-to for 308.
Yeah.
The Juggernauts are known. I mean, I've won F-class matches like crazy back in the day. You know,
Eagle Eye. I like your comment about the RPR.
yeah. Yeah.
Knock it till you try it.
Who's that? No, I honestly, I don't know. Just what deterred me from the RPR was the price. And not that I'm a cheap ass. I just know that it's a little pricier than what I could build. But I'm a tinkerer, you know. So
Yeah.
But after playing with one recently and rebarreling one and seeing the performance downrange, I was like, yeah, that thing's a beast.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Within what was it? I believe it was the 7th to the 9th shot. That thing was putting out a 0.1 inch group. It was insane. And then the velocity.
Sniper Hunter is asking, have you tried the 308 Sierra 178 tipped Match Kings?
I have. I have not gotten. I haven't gotten good results with my rifle.
Okay. Ray, has Mini X shown any desire to shoot 22 PRS? Yes, actually, she has shown the desire, but she will not be able to make the next match because it's sold out. I have some friends that want to get in that match that we're all going to, Brian, and there's no spots left. She wants to get into it for sure, but I've kind of honestly, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I even got a comment today about being careful about putting your children, especially if you've got a daughter on there, because there's a lot of creeps out there. Look, I get it. Okay, I understood that the very first time I ever put on the channel, but
Dad can shoot well.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's just at some point you can't hide your kids forever. Okay. And you don't know what's going on the other end of that screen, but it's no different than anybody else that's on TV. I mean, geez, there could be some freak that really likes you, you know, and you don't know what they're doing on the other side of their screen, or Kenny right now. Now, I know it's different as a parent.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, what
the hell are you doing over there on that side of the screen, boy?
I'll tell you, this is where it kind of hit home with me is, you know, so I put Mini X on a couple of the videos. I'm getting, you know, shooting and this, that, and the other. And you guys might or might not know this, but some of those videos, in my opinion, kind of went viral. Okay. There's one that went like 500,000 views.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, that's a lot of people looking at your child, right? Now, there's a lot of people in the world, all over the world. It's no big deal. But the problem is when we started going places and somebody actually were like, "You're Mini X," and it was like, "Oh, okay." Now that made me feel a little uncomfortable. You know, not for any reason other than here's a stranger that saw her on a gun channel and they know her as Mini X. You got to remember that's just somebody that's reviewing something on the video. That's not who she is. You don't know about my mannerisms or his or Kenny's.
They know about all mine.
Well, you guys see us kind of when we're just hanging out, especially when we did some of the R² stuff. But there's a level of professionalism that you have that might not be your true personality. You can kind of read a person, but you only know as much as a person wants you to know about them. That's just
Look at her. The biggest thing those creeps are taking away from is that her dad.
You got to hurt him up.
Any firearm thrown at him. So
yeah,
you out of control, Eric.
No, and she's not a celebrity. But the other thing too is, okay, so I'm not going to get into religion too much or anything like that.
Hey, John.
But we are a God-fearing family, and so she actually went to the church, and about half the congregation recognized her, and this became one of those, oh, you're the one that shoots guns. And, you know, and the good thing is it wasn't turned around negatively.
Thanks, Mil Spec.
But I could see something like that in the future, kind of being turned around.
You're that gun girl.
You're that gun girl. You're that so-and-so. So I pulled her away a little bit. She'll come back.
That and, you know, those videos took off. That's crazy.
Oh, those things went stupid.
It would be a Ray video and a Mini X video. We'd be like, what the hell? I'm like, this is out of control.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. It was true. A lot of people recognize her, though.
Yeah, and
Even in her
you've been
dance,
putting your son on there.
on the dance thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the main reason why I do YouTube is so my kids can look back or whatever. So it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I have a small channel anyways, regardless, so it doesn't matter. As far as like you're saying, it doesn't there's gonna be a lot of folks out there. You don't know what they're doing behind a computer, but just like any social media out there, Instagram, Facebook, whatnot.
Yep.
Hell, you don't want to know what the hell they're doing.
No, I don't want to know.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. Well, the things what I do know is I know how to operate a firearm, and I know how to be responsible with one and defend my family if I need to. So,
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Oh, see, Shibalseki says
Where
his wife loved watching Mini X.
Well, I appreciate that, Shibalseki, and like I said, she'll come back for sure. But I kind of wanted to get her out of doing so many videos because there was a time there I was like, oh, well, people really like this. It's good. And I didn't want it to be seen as, okay, well, he's just after that, the views. And no, it wasn't about that at all. It was about exactly what he said here. And that's Armament and Axis, the next generation to carry the torch. And that's exactly right. So, whether you're, if you're watching this, you're probably a big 2A supporter. I mean, we actually run drills at the house. It was like, all right, something happens. Where are you going to go? What you going to grab? I mean, it's all set up. And so I can literally say those words, and she's on a 300 blackout, and any target that's basically within 100 yards, it's lights out.
It's going.
Rick can tell you, I've got little targets all over the place, and they're little tiny steels. Because from the house, we can see them in the woods, especially this time of year. Not only will this get a proficiency up, it'll induce a little bit of stress if you mix things up a little bit. Or if I put a dummy round in there and all of a sudden you have a malfunction, you're taking this person that's carrying the torch and you're reinforcing those drills. Okay, there's a joke standing around the house with my wife. It's like, if something happens and I'm not home, just go to Mini X.
Just call Mini.
It's funny. I'm like the same way. My oldest son, that's the same thing. She's not too good with any other firearm, but she just go tell my son what to do.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have a plan. It really is.
Yeah, you need to have a place. And I said, if you can't do that, the best thing to do is maybe stay in the house. Is there a safe area? What am I going to do is if let's say somebody's trying to break in the house, I get a notification or whatever, I see him on, let's say, Ring or some video surveillance thing. I go home and now I go into the house and I don't want to get lit up, So what do you do to prevent that? So these are things I think you should run through and keep it fresh. Do it once a month. If you go out and crank your generator once a month, which you should, so your fuel will even. I don't care if you're running stable or anything like that. Run them once a month. Run these drills.
He does well with that.
Oh yeah, Rick was like, dude, I can't believe you actually do this. Like every generator.
He's actually pretty damn amazing when it comes to doing that.
And this is honestly a really awesome topic, especially right now with current events. I mean, this is something folks need to start really preparing for and really thinking about. Not saying to be a prepper. I'm not saying that, but to be prepared for the worst. These are really good topics to really talk about.
So John out there, he owns his own electrical company, and they actually do solar and power and batteries and all this stuff. And I'm like, I was telling him about my other house having an automatic generator and turn on.
Right.
And I'd be like, and I'd be making lots of noise. And I'm like, man, is that something I really want to do? Say, hey, look at me, I got a generator.
Right.
Deal, and then it's like talking about battery backups and all this stuff, but all those things, like cooking food during the day or making it so you can smell and people can smell some yummy meal somewhere when everybody's starving. Like, there's all these little things nobody thinks about.
Yeah, and I know there's some cities out there they shut down Walmart, and those cities couldn't get food for a while, dude. Like, what do you do? And how desperate are people going to get? That's the kind of things I think about.
Oh, you're done 2 to 3 days. The grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's kind of nice about living out here in the countryside, for a desert, is the fact that our little community will get together. And everybody out here, every other neighbor out here is a farmer. I mean, you have some kind of produce. You have something to offer. If it not be a chicken, it would be a cow, or it would be horses or goats or whatnot. Everybody out here is on propane. We're not afraid to share propane, whatnot. And each one of us have well rights, and there's 7 wells out here that all operate on a generator if we ever lose power. So it's kind of cool to know that if something were to happen, we could get together, and our community is a good, safe place to be. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about this once or twice before, but you know, and I've stated this before. You're only going to be able to be holed up so long. Eventually, you will get outrun. No matter how good of a shot you are, how much ammo you've got stockpiled, you've got to be able to have mobility at some point. You know, there's a saying that my dad used to always tell me is like, how many guns can you actually shoot at once? You know, and so it doesn't matter if you're sitting on a stockpile of 1 billion rounds of ammo or whatever. If you have to leave, if you get enough people on you, you're going to have to leave. You're not going to hold it by yourself. It'll take a ton of people to hold a position.
Yeah, because there's two. I wouldn't say there's just two types of people, but there's people that stockpile food, ammo, everything. They've gone medical supplies, beans, bullets, and brass, right? That's not it. Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. And then there's the guy that just says, well, all I need is this one rifle and some night vision, and I'm going to go get anything I want.
You'll take it from those that have it.
Yep. So
it's like those that have and those that don't. You know, the have-nots, the haves and the have-nots is what it comes down to.
So that's what sucks, because you can plan all you want, but there will at some point be some asshat trying to steal your stuff.
Yeah, we got your gun guy in here. That's right. Yes, you know. And depending on where you live, your situation will be a lot worse. Depending on if you're in the middle of a big city, you're gonna have to get out of there. You know, at some point, you know.
But then there's the guys that think I'm just gonna go shoot. I'm just gonna go kill that deer, and in some places like North Carolina, you might be able to pull that off because there's a shit ton of deer. But like where I used to live in California, there's probably one deer per 300 people trying to shoot that damn deer per ship. Yeah, one deer per ship. No, I do not live off the land in California, at least where I grew up. There's not enough stuff to eat.
Well, I know a few YouTubers out here that can make a possum taste good. So,
believe it or not, possum is actually in Western North Carolina, or actually in the Appalachia. That's actually a dish. Okay, so you know that and raccoon, and so that roadkill. Hey, you'll do what you got to do to survive, right?
Yeah, you'll eat whatever you got to eat. Hell, I'd probably even eat kimchi.
Yeah. Andrew says, "You're funny."
Tell me, man, you can hide anything with soy sauce. Give me soy sauce, I'm good.
That's it.
Deer almost wiped out during the Depression. Yeah.
Yeah. He says possum is a fine meal.
I want to be on the have side of things.
Yeah, so like even during the Depression, which Skull was talking about, you know, all of your normal squirrels, your rabbits, everybody else is going to be hunting them as well. They're going to go quickly. They're going to go very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and unless you know a lot about, you know, canning and know a lot about, you know, basically salting meats, anything like that, because if you don't have power, you're not going to be able to refrigerate it. You know, it's good stuff to know.
Well, that's the problem. You got to know how to grow stuff. I mean, that's a huge thing. And the problem with growing crops is you have to wait for the whole thing to germinate and do its whole system before you can even get the food out of it.
In South Carolina, if your bumper can hit it, you can hit it.
You can hit it. That's good, Eric.
Oh, that's cool.
Rabbit. You know, when I moved out here, there wasn't that many rabbits.
Slaughtered a horse.
People eat horses.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you fire, everyone in the area will move. Yes, they will, until they can get enough other people with firearms. Because we're not the only ones with firearms. You get enough firepower coming in your way, you will have to move. We'll all have to move out of that. What do you call it? Unask the area.
Unask the area.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to move. I'm just going to, I don't know. I got the bunker. I got my little windows.
So this bunker would be completely, I mean, I could have you out of here in 15 minutes. Yeah. 15 minutes. You know? Yeah, because you guys don't know the layout or the orientation or anything else. But it would be pretty easy to look at this house and say, all right, all I got to do is firebomb this side right here. It doesn't matter if somebody's in the basement. I know he has no access over here, no way to return fire over here. I'll just approach from that side. It's going to come down on him. That's it.
Well, it's a good thing you're on my team.
Right.
There you go.
Yep.
Fixing, fermenting, and smoking. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Two
Popular people, when things hit the fan, is the booze makers and the gun makers, gun and ammo makers.
gun.
Booze, ammo.
Guys, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm usually a pretty upbeat guy, but I really don't know what's going to happen in 2021.
Yeah.
I've never been more concerned as I have been now.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends.
Who's the presidency yet?
Yeah, we still don't
We
know.
don't know who won. It
Yeah.
don't matter, honestly. I don't think it's going to matter. If Trump wins, there'll be some that are happy, and the other guys are going to be doing stupid shit. And if Biden wins, it's probably going to be the same exact damn thing.
Yeah. And so a gun guy says you don't want to fight people like us. That's true, but you have to get all of them together. It's all about that communication.
Yeah.
To
I have a
get
lot of friends.
your cell phones are going to get shut down. You don't believe that? They'll shut it all down. They'll have, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's basically a cellular system that was started back during 9/11. And the problem is there were so many phone calls being made, it shut down cellular systems almost entirely. So they put in place a plan
Get cards.
to basically have where law enforcement, fire, all of that still had communication within the cell phones. And I believe the AT&T won the contract on that, even though they have the worst coverage. And I'm trying to.
I have one.
So he's got a card from his fire service. The other one, the actual contract was for FirstNet, and that is for first responders, and they actually get priority. So I don't know if you guys know this, but they'll just shut down the civilian side of things, and the law enforcement, all of them are still going to be able to communicate. Your first responders will still be able to communicate. We've talked about ham radio. Are you a ham radio operator?
Yeah, I got a FCC and FAA.
Yeah, you know me.
Of course. So I knew the answer to that, but we also know some people in California that have it. What are they trying to stop in California?
Right.
This is it right here.
No, that's another thing too. Do people know where your radio repeater station?
Yeah, these are real people. I have one.
He's special.
That's special.
Yeah, shortwave radio. That's the way to go.
As soon as I retire, official retire,
Damn.
I'll get my card ripped away from me. Of course, I'll be retired. It won't matter.
There should be most big cities usually have one or two ham radio repeaters or shortwave radio repeater stations that you could actually pick up, and obviously you don't have the certification for transmitting, but you can actually receive as long as you know the frequency of the base station, and it's publicly aired or publicly notified what that repeater station is. So that's something I should look into.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Another thing to think about though is if you're broadcasting, I'm seeing the comments about the CBs and the ham radio. Everybody else is going to hear that as well. Yep. And don't think that they don't have ham radio operators and all of this. So it's going to have to be quick communication, move.
They zero in on your coordinates.
Yeah, very quickly. Triangulating location on everything is not that difficult.
The problem is you won't need a license to talk ham anyways. If the world's in a big
exactly.
bucket of shit, you don't need.
Yeah, and if you start communicating, you're going to get triangulated real quick.
Yeah, so you'll add them. So, they'll kill everything. Radio's the key. It's easy to track now. It's not the 50s. That's exactly right. With the technology they have now, guys, it's crazy.
That's the same thing with pinpointing cell phone sites when you're trying to follow a.
There it is, right here. There's the answer I was looking for, right there.
Sorry, hitting steel.
The code. Well, that's the thing too. What up, Brandon? The almost having time frames. When it's like, hey, at 7:36, we're going to be on this channel for 5 minutes, and so everybody knows or something, because you can't just be all yapping. Oh, yo, X-ray, you out there?
But
with the X-ray.
Here's a really simplified example. what he's saying is develop a code.
You want to?
If you say this, you mean this.
No, there's better. I got a better.
I'm just trying to keep it simple.
I know, but I'll tell these guys so they'll know too. And this was something that we had to plan when I was in California. So everybody has the same book. The same book can be doesn't damn matter, right?
The Bible. No, it can't be. It's got to be standardized book.
Yeah, it's got to be a book. So we'll just call it a reloading book, right? The Hornady series, whatever, right? And you basically you say the number. You basically use those
page
words.
Number.
Yeah. And you can say whatever you want to say, but everybody has as long as everybody has the same book, it's all good.
Eric says Snake Plissken. That was from Escape from New York. You remember that?
Yeah.
Kurt Russell. That was the name.
No. Wait.
I can't remember. He had the long hair.
Yeah.
He had the Mac 10, the little president of the egg. He's got to rescue him.
That's the same
way
guy.
back in the
That
day.
was the Dirty Dancing dude, wasn't it?
No, that's Dirty Dancing was Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Patrick Swayze?
No, Patrick Swayze was not.
He wasn't the guy
Snake
on the.
Plissken, no.
Oh, okay.
No, that's Kurt Russell.
We just broke Rick's code. You can have
But he
my
didn't
code.
say the
I'd
book.
rather help you.
Oh, look at that. I got a guy that says
There
Kurt
it
Russell,
is.
Snake Plissken.
No, but the thing is, if you want to be able to communicate in a way, I could just go page 14, first paragraph, third word, and then that word might be meet up or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you use that as a.
I didn't want it to be a doom and gloom thing.
It's
but
not
this
a
is
doom and gloom.
It's a preparation. No.
Did you say
preparation?
preparation? Shoot me a link. Andrew says, "I'll shoot you a damn link." AKA the devil. How you doing up there?
So if Andrew's getting ready to come on, if you guys haven't seen Andrew, very, very knowledgeable guy. He knows a lot. It's going to be a pleasure to have him on, actually. Give me just a second. How do you go visit your urinal?
You're a nail.
Now.
All right. Link is sent. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff when it comes to prepping that, information, non-prepping, and preparing. Yeah. Howdy, guys. How are you? Tons of stuff. Good wheelhouse stuff.
Right? Yep, absolutely.
How are you doing when it comes to that stuff? Since I moved, all the stuff's at my other house. So, it's just down the street. And the real Andrew Gun guys here with us.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good on, Andrew. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Kenny. Sorry I haven't gotten with you on what we were talking about. I've been just more than a little bit busy.
No, dude, understandable. I'm always here for you.
I gotcha. I'm just things are just going absolutely insane. So you guys are really talking about the doom and gloom end of the world stuff tonight, huh?
Hey, man, it's sometimes the topic needs to be talked about sometimes, especially what's going on.
There's a lot going on.
Lots going on.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but I do a podcast. Me and a few of my friends, we do a podcast. We just got done with our live stream that we put out on Apple Music, Google Play, and all those Google Music and all that stuff. We have a podcast. We got about 22 episodes out there now. We just wrapped that up a few minutes ago, so I'm still in the studio.
The mic quality is great, Jabalseki says.
Well, thank you very much.
My plan is to get, and I've been looking at them. I don't know what I'm going to go with the blue mic or whatever the hell it's called, but I'm going to put something in here so when we're talking, I don't have to talk into the damn computer.
Well, get with me afterwards. I got a buddy of mine who gave me a crash course in all the podcasting, the cameras and the microphones and all that business. There are certain things you want and certain things you don't want. So get with me after that, and we'll get you set up.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we're doing tag team. Andrew, how are you, sir?
I'm tired, man.
You look tired.
I am tired.
What is this?
That's my COVID no shave deal going on.
You got Kenny with his porn stats going on.
I could shave it off.
That is a good-looking knife you have
It
there.
is a good-looking knife. Isn't that amazing how that happens? Hasn't left my pocket since you know when.
Awesome.
I love it. Absolutely great
No
knife.
sideband if you don't want others to hear. Yeah, this would be one of those you could just set up a private chat if you wanted to talk about some crazy stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I will commend you on that mic. I know Rick is actually looking at a mic, and I know you're doing your podcast. How's that doing for you?
It's doing really well. We're getting about 3,000 unique downloads per episode now. So we're really building an audience. We're on all of the major podcasting outlets. Some of the folks that are overseas that participate in this chat, when we talked about it a while ago, they've actually joined. They're listening. We can actually see where they're downloading from: New Zealand and England.
Nice.
So it's kind of fun. We're having a good time with it.
Awesome.
Conservative Sniper Hunter is asking me is Kenny building you a PRS rifle? Kenny and I talked about building a PRS rifle. Gun guy here hasn't had time to do much about it right now. I've just been, it's flat out.
So have you ever? I'm changing gears here for just a minute. I know you watched the video about the IWI, the Tabor TS12. What were your thoughts on that? I know you're a big shotgun guy.
Hey man, 15 rounds, 12 gauge in your hand as fast as you can pull the button. I'm a big fan.
Gotcha. Because there were a lot of comments about it being a jam-o-matic, and I think maybe the initial ones were, but I haven't had any issues with it. I still have a shotgun that worked well, and some guys are like, I can't believe you're reviewing the shotgun. I love shotguns.
Shotguns are awesome.
Yeah, Andrew.
Shotguns are awesome, man. You know, why bring Barbie to the fight when you've got Ken right in the corner? I mean, come on.
So John asked, how do we check out your podcast?
You can check us out on Google Play. Not Google Play. It's like Google Podcasts. That'd be the easiest way, or Apple Podcasts. Just search for Signal 50 Podcast, SIGNAL 50 Podcast. And you'll pop it up. We've got 22 episodes. We're having a good time with it. It's a lot of fun.
Is it a pain in the ass? Because I've been getting a lot of people wanting me to do a podcast.
No, not when we're using the same software you're using to do this. We're using StreamYard. So there's a little bit of extra manipulation that you have to do to get the audio pulled out. You download a file and then you upload it to the podcast provider as Podbean. You get a Podbean account. You and I can get together on a video chat sometime. I'll get my my buddy on there who we all got this set up. We'll all do it together and we'll get you started if that's something you're interested in.
All right, really quick, because I know it has significance. What does Signal 50 mean?
Signal 50 can mean a lot of things depending on where you live. I come from a public safety background, just like Rick.
Wait, stop. Go ahead. Go ahead. So finish the thing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You know the thing.
Okay.
Signal 50 is just it can be either a serious car accident, depending on your jurisdiction, the way the signals work, or it can be officer in distress. So it's a political podcast, and we're obviously not liberals. So we think that we're in a lot of trouble. So we just decided to call it the Signal 50 Podcast.
Okay, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to know. Actually, I'm asking everybody in the comments section. All I'm going to say is, what does 5150 mean to you? Don't answer, guys that can answer, except I want to see the comments. Comments only first. And then if that means something to you, let me know, or if this is a complete West Coast California Fire Service thing, because I told him. I told him 5150, and he's like, looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? So we'll give you guys a couple seconds. I know there's a little bit of lag behind 5150.
Well, we got 80 people in here. I want to see how many people can comment without searching. You cannot search. Okay.
Van Halen.
Isn't that the train that took the ERPs out of Tombstone? The 5150?
No, this is think public safety. I already see the answer. I already see the correct answer. So a lot of Van Halen fans, which is awesome. Hey, Bill Sweeney. I don't know if you've been in here a while or not, but welcome. No, so 5150 in the fire service, at least in the West Coast, because obviously it doesn't unstable signs, is basically a crazy person. So if we're dealing with a 5150, instead of saying like this asshole's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're just dealing with a 5150 patient or something.
Okay, so this gets to back. You guys remember when we first started the channels? It was kind of like we had slug bug and punch bug, and if you were an East Coaster, it was punch buggy, and over on the West Coast, it was slug bug.
Yep.
I think there are differences in signals and codes because on the East Coast, and it also depends on where. If you're located north, if you're in south, I've never heard of a 5150, but I do know that a crazy person is typically going to be a 1073, and that would be East Coast jargon. Okay. Now, what you've seen is this big, this, what somebody say?
Rebs has the official awesome answer.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that's California. What's that? 5150 CA
Order, yeah.
That's wealth and no, it's
health and welfare check.
yeah, but it's wealth. I can't remember what the WI is, but yeah, it's basically oneself is in danger of him. So if someone's committing or trying to commit suicide or is committing suicide or are attempting, I have one guy stab himself in the stomach 9 times with a little tiny I'm like, you're super fat. You're super fat. Yeah, that ain't gonna do shit. But they're just basically wanting help, right? So that we would put them in a 72-hour. They'd be put into a 72-hour mental health.
Yeah. So one of the things that you noticed in law enforcement is a lot of law enforcement and responders started going to plain talk.
Thanks, Reb.
Because so many different codes and signals meant so many different things.
Right.
Now, what you guys might or might not realize is you're on different talk groups. Okay. So at least in the East Coast, from what I've seen, and that's where I've spent most of my time with this, is if I needed to get in touch with the fire services, right? The dispatch or somebody like that is going to have to get in touch with them, because if they're listening to police or if they're listening to paramedic, it's going to be 2 different lingos.
Oh, see, 1068 mentally unstable in South
See,
Carolina.
so
just next door.
That's 25 miles away, right?
Yeah.
1032. We use 1032. We use EDP, and then we just went to plain talk.
Yep, and that's the reason.
But plain talk for us is 5150, meaning
yes,
there is no code.
That is your unique lexicon.
Yeah, that's plain talk.
Yeah, that's it. So
we can't say.
And a lot of people will ask. I had to ask some police officers this. I said, well, why is there a need for a 10 code? And I've noticed that, working with different agencies, that 10 codes vary significantly, okay? You still have your 10-4s. You still have your 10-10, which would be negative. 10-12, I think, is standby or something.
10-20.
10-23 is at scene or something. I don't remember. Either way. I was like, well, why 10 codes? And they said, well, it's pretty easy. If I've got to arrest this guy here, but I want to tell that guy over there that this guy has a warrant, I can tell him in a 10 code, and this guy is probably not going to know that he's getting ready to get slapped with some codes on. I said, hey, that makes perfect sense. But you all have to know the same lingo. It's like the Tower of Babel here, because the guy's in South Carolina, and you say, you're getting ready to take him to jail, and he thinks you just said he's got a gun. Then you got a bigger problem.
Well, it's exactly like what you were talking about in the chat when I joined about codes, and what I mentioned about codes. If you're going to communicate with people, the only code that can't be broken is the code that you develop with somebody you want to understand the code.
Yeah.
Every code can be broken eventually,
Absolutely.
but eventually you have time before that happens. You have to develop a code. When you want to communicate with somebody, you have to develop that code.
Yeah.
Because even the plan that we had put in place years back with the book thing, what is the possibility? There is no. I mean, you could probably have a year easy before anybody would figure that shit out. All day long, Yeah, Wind Talker is awesome.
You ever watch The Wire?
real.
You ever see the movie, the television program The Wire, and see the code that they use to trade locations over pager text? Very
Yeah.
clever.
I've seen a lot of cartel in like jail systems. Those guys have some pretty complex shit, which is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
They use some really cool stuff.
Yeah, Yule Adams says we have a new work. Any code can be broken in an hour. That reminds me of, you remember the what was it, the Enigma machine?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you had that technology back then, holy crud, how many lives would have been saved just being able to break that code. I'll be back.
We owe the Navajo code talkers everything.
Yeah,
Those guys were so cool. Those guys were so cool.
Phonetic alphabet in the military.
Yes.
There's law enforcement. We use Alpha Bravo Charlie.
That's correct.
Adam Boy, yeah.
Eric.
Same thing with the fire service, actually.
Yep. And then there's the FAA phonetic alphabet, which is completely different.
Yes, sir.
Oh, they have one too?
Yes.
Holy hell.
I had to learn that for my FAA license too. What a pain in the ass that was.
Alpha Bravo Charlie and FAA.
It's Alpha Bravo Charlie. It is still Alpha Bravo Charlie. I have to get out my sheet. I forgot everything already because I get them all confused.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of cool. I mean, there's so many cool topics that we can talk about when it comes to like that kind of stuff. With just being prepared, it's amazing, and hopefully we don't have to see. Code is broken now, DW.
Yeah, so this is the question I had. So, I heard when I was in the other room over there, you were talking about, the different, between the military and police on phonetics. Why didn't they just go with something a lot simpler, something that's been around forever, and just go with like the Greek alphabet, where it's alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon,
Yeah.
It's like that's something that's never going to change.
Because everybody got to be different.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I wanted to invent something new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Armament said must have gotten warm in there. Yeah, it's the temperature actually got a little warmer than it was last night, and it's nice having a urinal in here. So
I'm telling you what,
and a bathroom sink and everything.
Yeah. I need to get a paper towel holder though.
Otter says, guess our code is the Hornady book. It depends on which volume.
Jeez.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
But you guys understand what I'm getting at, right? So let's grab a book. You guys could use this for your guys' group.
Yeah, Joel Adams, he says it's best to just be aware and ready for hard times of any type.
Absolutely.
I think, that's a good point. And I want to hear it from you guys. I think we've kind of gotten beyond that, though. I think now it needs to possibly get into planning. We are in unprecedented times. Forget COVID. Let's talk about presidency. Let's talk about democracy in the future, how we're ever going to be able to trust how the election goes. I mean, this will compromise everything.
Yeah, there's no point of
I think we all were already aware and ready, but I think more planning needs to be. I don't want anybody to misconstrue that. Oh, let's take up arms and do this. I'm just saying, have a plan in place.
Exactly.
Right.
How do you think I feel? I live in the NCR, man. I live in the National Capital Region, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what's working for them is that they can get together. That whole friggin' Democratic side gets together and back each other up. And the Republican side, everybody's just friggin' fighting their own battles, man, instead of fighting the big battle.
Yeah.
No, I'm not laughing at you, Kenny. I'm right there.
Oh, Jesus. That's funny. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah, Otter, we're not talking politics. We're getting away from that. I'm just saying that the environment now, I think, let's talk about going from different codes, okay? Going from code green to code yellow. I don't think we're in green anymore.
No.
So
we haven't been in green.
Yeah.
No.
I don't even know what year that would have been during.
Conservative sniper happens to speak better Greek than me.
Well, listen, let's put it to you this way. Every year, the national Christmas tree gets lit, and my family, we live about 35 minutes away from the White House, and we can go down there and park and spend a nice evening, go down to Trump International, get dinner, go see the national Christmas tree, and just go see DC is very beautiful around Christmas. It used to be. And you can't do that now. It's dangerous. I won't go down there, period. So things have changed, and it's not a good thing at all. It's horrible.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad, man.
It's terrible. And we're very, very, as a family, we're very, very disappointed in that.
Well, just a few months ago, I watched people beat each other up over freaking toilet paper. So
Yeah.
Don't fuck with my toilet paper, man.
I literally went to blows over toilet paper, which is
Joaquin, well said. Navo saved a lot of lives.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Those
they
guys
did.
are true heroes.
Yeah.
True heroes. I wish I could spend more time learning more about their culture. I should.
yep.
I know Rogers. Code. Screw you guys. I'm leaving.
All right. So what else can we talk about that's not politics? It's not this.
The
How
star
about-
of Bethlehem will be
Something we can learn tonight.
How about the president of Federal or Vista Ammunition? They're coming on and putting out a video the other day.
I saw that, and it was very to the point, basically saying we're doing everything we can to supply you guys with ammunition, so back
Oh,
off.
shut the hell up.
That's pretty much what it was.
Stop sending me hate mail. I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
I've been to that. I've been to that plant in Anoka several times. Let me tell you something. They can move some parts out of that baby.
Bad Billy says there were people throwing down over PlayStation 5s this weekend.
Now, that's funny.
Amazing.
Hell yeah, that's funny.
Trick people like they always do, making them fight for rich people.
I'm smoking a spatchcock turkey for Christmas Eve. That sounds really good. I'll be right over, Davey.
I'm not even going to highlight that. Lynn Holt's comment.
I got a code.
He's
Oh,
got a code.
shit.
Yeah.
Horn 80 put out a video yesterday saying they're running at full capacity. Yeah.
I'm sure. Every one of them that has a primer is.
Well, I can tell you that ATK or Federal, they make all their own, so they got to be really busy.
Now, so maybe you guys can give me some insight into this thing. Supposedly there's 4 companies within the United States that make primers.
Yeah.
So yes. Okay. Now, I have heard, and I don't know if this is true, that's why I'm asking maybe someone that knows a little more than I do, maybe somebody will learn from this as well. Because of the environmental factors, or the EPA basically, we as Americans, meaning United States, is only allowed to make X amount of primer, correct?
I don't know.
Did you?
I had heard the same thing, is that we're limited on how much we can actually make. And this was something that was put in place during the Obama administration.
Oh, of course it was.
And so once that number has been reached, and I could be wrong, this is just something that I heard. Once that number's been reached, then they're at capacity. That's it. They can't make any more. And so it is legal to import, from the European nations or wherever, just to be able to import those primers in. That's what my understanding was. So maybe some of you guys can chime in on this.
You can bring primers in.
I heard there was a company, and I don't know who it was. If it comes to mind, I'll say, but I can't remember. That are actually buying primers from out of country. But so that I don't know what company or whatever from out of country, but they have basically told the company, whoever it is, we will supply you with primers, but we want X amount of money every bullet.
50% of your profits.
Oh, you heard the same thing then.
Oh, I know the same thing.
That's ridiculous.
Be a real damn
Yeah,
shame
here's
if
your company, Kenny. Kenny, you have a company. You got, I don't know, let's just say
Or
30
say,
employees.
Yeah.
30 employees, and you're like, holy shit. Like, I want to keep these guys working.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost Christmas time. People want ammo. People need ammo. I have no primers. But these guys are basically molesting me dry. What do I do? What do I do here? That's
Yeah, that's BS, man. So they're saying they want 50% of the profit?
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
that's you got to give them a lot of credit. That takes a lot of balls. I mean, that's old fashioned mob stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, it is. We will help you out in this time of need. It's either that, or your rent doesn't stop, or you're going to have to lay people off. You're going to shut the
right.
doors down. It's making a deal with the devil. It really is.
Exactly. That's just like this. It's like the old mob expression. Be a real damn shame if something were to happen to your business now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
See, see.
Exactly. You got to
Yeah.
pay that protection money, and you're going to like it. And you're going to shut up.
Let me show you something.
That's where
There's another adage, and it goes something along the lines of, what is it? It's like it's not a panic, but it's like an emergency on your part does not constitute something on my part.
Crisis. A failure to plan on your part does not constitute a crisis on mine.
Correct. Because there were a lot of people that planned for this. I'm sure a lot of this might have been planned. I mean, there's a lot of people that stockpiled after Sandy Hook. A lot of people did, and they're not really concerned right now. All they're saying is, whoa, ammo's bringing how much now? How much is this worth?
Yeah. Well, I saw somebody on the side of the road without any kind of licensing, just out of the back of his truck with a cardboard sign saying selling 9mm ammo. I'm like,
oh, we had those signs here. They were here. 9mm 223 for sale.
I'm like, wow, dude.
Yeah.
They're
Now this is the thing, guys. I don't know if you realize this, but as a manufacturer,
hey Chris,
if I wanted to make ammo, I could, and I could sell. Now I want to get the insurances and all of that. I would never do it, but I did research at length. You still have to pay 11 cents excise tax on every single round you manufacture right off the bat. If you are a firearms manufacturer, you better pull apart or put aside that 11% excise tax on that firearm for each and every one, because you're going to get dinged with it. So you're already 11 cents in the hole before you even start.
Protection money, man. The mob is after you.
I saw that, man. They're like $25 for a case or for the 20 or 30 20 rounds. Nuts, man.
I wonder what that 50,000 rounds of junior match 22 that I'm sitting on is worth.
About 50,000.
Yeah.
What was he saying? He said he's got a shit ton of ammo he's sitting on, and he wonders how much it's worth.
A lot, actually. I mentioned this the other night. I actually stopped by a friend of mine's gun store that I knew, hadn't seen him in forever, and he was like, "Man, I think I'm gonna have to shut my doors down. I can't get guns. I can't get anything. I have no ammo." And I was like, and this kind of goes to what DW was saying there. Yeah, I was prepared for this. Doesn't mean matches are going to continue or anything like that, but I figured I'd help him out. And he goes, "I'll give you this much per round." I was like, "What?" Yeah, let me go get some more. I'll help you out. Because if you got it back in the day, when you were paying pennies, literally pennies for the stuff, and people are now paying $1 for 5.56, and in some places a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I went to an auction site last night at about 5:15 a.m. and there was a lot from an estate of 22 ammunition, and it was a lot of ammunition, and boxes of 4 rounds of CPI standard velocity, 4 rounds, or 4 boxes of 50 rounds each. You put the little CCI, like the mini mags or whatever. Okay, so at $20 a box, that's going to put you at $80. All of it was going for $20 a box. So every single lot, they didn't do a big lot. It was 200 rounds of 22.
I'm doing some math. Hold on.
Yeah. I know some people that are sitting on over 1 million rounds of 22 long rifle. That stuff's worth a fortune.
There's a guy in our
I didn't want to call any names out, but yeah.
Yeah, he's got a couple bullets. Oh, if you guys don't know, Armament Maxis shot the eye out.
You always tell the story of a groundhog.
Of a groundhog.
Yard.
And 525 yards. One of these days, I'm going to get it right.
Yeah, Yule Adams. That's right. All ARs. I mean, even. Hey, you know what? I hate to say it, but you guys follow what happened to Cheaper Than Dirt?
Ugh.
What happened? Hopefully they went bankrupt.
Oh, somebody put up and my understanding is they put up a suit against them for basically price gouging.
It's illegal to do it.
It's illegal to do it in a time of need, and they're saying this is the time of need, but there's actually a lawsuit against them now because of what they've always done. Other people are like, well, it's free enterprise. People don't have to buy it. It depends on how you look at it. It's interesting food for thought, though. I
talked about this the other day when I was at work.
John Jeffries, Texas AG suit, correct? That's correct.
I got buddies that are like, man, I don't even have 50 rounds. I'm like, your ass is late to the game, dude.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Just buy an air gun, man. And get
I'm good for a while. Like, I will get shot and killed before I run out of ammo. Let me tell you.
I'm not going to die for lack of shooting back.
Exactly. Yeah, at some point, I will get shot. So
you may get me in a rush, but not before I turn your head into a canoe.
He said, you know those shitty buckets? Like the one I brought over to your house?
Still sitting there, yeah.
$250.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow.
We're going to need that.
I got to start selling some 22 ammunition and go on a vacation.
No, what you want to sell is 9 millimeters where the money's at. That and 5.56.
No, I'm keeping all that. That's mine. Don't care.
You said you wanted to go on vacation. You don't want to go on vacation. Every time I go to California, I'm like, man, if something pops off right now, I'm so screwed.
Yeah.
I didn't say I wasn't going to take my guns on a canoe trip with me.
Okay, so I'm just going to hypothetically just say this. Let's say you're sitting on, 500,000 rounds of 5.56.
Oh,
you can't shoot it all. If somebody's going to pay you $1 a round, and you can take that case of 1,000 rounds of, let's say, PMC or your Wolf Gold that you bought in the, way back in the day, and it's $1,000 a case, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Profit.
Shoot it all. You're never going to be able to shoot it all.
Yeah.
That's just business sense. As long as you have, leave yourself 450,000 rounds. You just made 50 grand off something that initially cost you what? $10,000 or less. $240 a case. I mean, you remember those days? A case of 1,000 was less than $250.
Look at that.
What's this?
Bad Billy, 20 cents a round right now for 22, and he paid less than 4 cents.
Yep.
Man, 5 times.
Oh, right here. Bad Billy just sold 2 420 count cans of 5.56 for $1,000. So he got over $1 a piece for it. This is exactly what I did with that gun shop. Number one, it helped him out. Number two, I was like, well, I can't shoot all of this. And I was like, I can help him. He's a friend. I mean, he really is. Yep. And it was gone just like that. But yeah, I helped him out. But it helped me out in the process.
That's it. You have what they need. And what?
In the last big crisis for ammo, maybe we went too soon on it. We were sitting on a warehouse up in Minnesota, a storage unit. It had 390,000 rounds of Eastern Bloc ammo, steel cased, 7.62 by 3.9. We had a lot of 9mm Makarov. We had 9mm Luger. We had lots of 7.62 by 5.4. A lot of it was belted. And we had a lot of belted 30-06 and all that stuff. We did very, very well. Very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was a lot.
Right now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We paid nothing for it.
Oh, that's even better.
Nothing.
Okay, so that's a good question. How much is too much?
How much is too much?
Okay, now this is the question for everybody out there. So let's say, do you count the amount of guns you have, and then times it by a certain amount of rounds? Or do you say you just have a number in your head of like, okay, when I reach X amount of bullets, I'm good. So like let's say you have, I don't know, we'll make it easy. One AR that's a 5.56 223. Like how many rounds would you need for say, are you the guy that is a gun number? Like I have one gun at this, so I'm gonna have this amount? Like what do you guys think?
Well, for one, I got a shit ton of tannerite. I just need one shot.
There you go.
So I'm pretty proficient at making, I guess, blast caps out of primers. It's simple as that. You need to protect your compound.
Hey, I wonder what this is worth.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, it's definitely worth more than this.
I don't know what that is.
And my magneto speed or what's left of it.
Oh shit! What happened to that? Who shot it?
I have to attract 200 rounds per rifle for brass to reload.
Hey, we should have an auction. Hold on, we'll have an online auction. Hold on.
No,
You can't.
no. Ramsey Country says he has over 70 pounds of powder and 13,000 primers. All I know is if a fire were to ever break out at my house, I don't know if I could get away fast enough.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm gonna know when his house blows up.
You will want to be nowhere around the area. We actually counted it a couple weeks ago, and actually it's been about a month and a half ago or so. And I actually scared myself. I was like, "This is probably bad.
10 times
This
more than
is
you should
bad."
have.
Yeah.
That's why I'm over here. I had to bring my shop over here away from where I sleep.
Yeah.
That.
Look at that. It's like worth more than gold now. Look at that. That's 9mm, guys. Look at that.
Well, look at that shiny gold right there.
Ooh. I bought this stuff when it was 14 cents a round.
Damn.
And I bought 10 cases of it.
Well,
I'm good.
yeah.
So what would you say you need for each rifle or pistol?
I'm gonna wait for these guys to answer before I say anything. Because
Yeah.
my answer is
I'm glad somebody knows what the hell they're going on.
Oh,
Battalion chief, conservative sniper. Once you've been in a war zone, you know a backpack is too big to keep.
see who commented on that.
The one I just heard?
Yeah, where was that? Where is that?
It was.
Okay, so Yule Adam says once you've been in a war zone, you know a backpack is too big to keep.
yes.
Remember, I keep talking about mobility. You're not going to be able to stay there long. Don't subscribe to as much as I can carry.
Nope.
Because if you have mobility, whether it's 2 wheels, whether it's 4 wheels, whatever the case is, or if you have little stashes strategically planned or placed in little areas that you can get to, hideouts, I think that's the best way. But just sitting on a huge cache of it,
No.
if that's not going to work, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to hold it too long.
Nope.
So you guys know what these bailout bags are, right?
You have to have a go bag. Yep.
There we go.
See, that's a go bag. Okay. There's 6 30-round mags in here, and there's 2 more on the inside, pistol mags and everything I need. This is the ammo that you can carry. This is all you can carry and be mobile. Mobility equals survivability. And let's face it, none of us are getting any younger.
That is a fact.
Adam Rogers, that's $1 million right there. I don't think a guy needs much pistol ammo. When stuff gets to pistol range, you're already screwed. So everybody that's here, you guys know we all like long range. You got Kenny over there, you got myself, you got Rick. If you can keep that distance, that's going to be the thing, is being able to be mobile. But you're exactly right. Pistol range is bad news. You've already failed at that point. Shotgun.
I'm the idiot that likes to work close in.
Well, that's two different strategies too. You know what I mean?
You gotta consider your world, right? I mean, listen, where you guys live, you're a little more rural. Where I live, I'm in a tight urban environment.
Yeah, your next fight's right around the next corner.
My fight's right outside my front door.
Yeah.
Conservative.
No, conservative sniper hunter. No, that's the thing is I realize I'm getting older, and almost everyone in here, I can pretty much tell you, I've never met 90% of you, but we're not young spring chickens anymore. Okay, almost everyone in here, if I had to guess, the average age would probably be 40 to 60, with some older, quite older. We're not going to be as mobile or as agile. And if you're going against modern military, you're screwed. I don't care if Kitty could hit a shot every single time at 2,500 meters, first time, every single time. All they got to do is home in on you. You're not even going to hear it. Okay, you're not even going to hear it. They get a thermal signature on him. You're never even going to hear that.
And you ain't going to feel it.
Yeah, you ain't going to feel it. You're not going to anything.
So where can it go?
Exactly.
You'd be reduced to a smoking pair of Keds.
Yeah, it depends on who you're up against.
Smoking kids. Yeah. I think Kenny's wearing Vans though. What you wearing, Kenny? Since you showed your footwear.
Oh, it's my work shirt.
Talk about your shoes.
Hey, this is really good right here. Davey J says never go below 9 loaded mags. DW says 8 mags and armor vest. I know turnout wise, about 8 as a minimum. If you're in a mobile vehicle per person, you need about 14. You need to have them in trunk. You need to have them in passenger side door, driver's side door, as well as on your persons. Because if you get pinned down to a certain area, you need to be able to get to those areas for whatever area you can utilize this cover. 14 minimum.
Right.
It goes fast.
Yeah. My little go bag carries 8 of the 30 round mags, so that's what I have. But every one of my vehicles has one. And then I have a route to go to and meet up with whoever I need to meet up to gather armed forces or whatever supplies that we need. So.
Listen, every one of my AR-15s, and I have a few. Some were lost in a tragic canoeing accident. They didn't listen. I told them to wear their life jackets. Okay. Damn kids. But you saw that go bag I showed you. It's a bailout bag, and it holds 6 in the front. You can put plenty of mags on the inside. Every rifle's got a go bag with it. Right next to it, there's a go bag. You got to go. You grab the gun. You grab the bag. Period. Full stop. And in the cars, there's these. Everything is uniform.
Now, you got me on that one because I don't do pistol mags, but he can tell you every vehicle that I have, when you slam the doors, all you hear are 30-round AR mags. I mean, they come out sometimes. Sometimes you open the door and they're falling on the ground.
Run away to the casino.
That's how we find Ray. It's like, shit, just follow the magazines. He's down over there.
Listen to the harmonic vibrations.
I'm like, what the hell am I stepping on?
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh, you did that the other day.
Yeah.
He's like, what are these? I'm like, they're freaking AR mags, man. They're loaded.
I remember getting in your truck.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, oh, hey, there you go. All right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, DW. I know. I've been in left turnout gear to know. I know it gets really heavy, for sure. And you got to be light. You got to be mobile. Plain and simple.
Is it worth the money? Here, we'll switch topics, but stay on the same topic. Is it worth the money to go to ceramic plates?
Well, it depends. It's a trade-off based on weight. I do that kind of stuff for a living, right? A ceramic plate that'll stop an M855 round is going to weigh about 6 pounds, right? 5.5 to 6 pounds. And they're fragile. They have an expiration date. They got polyethylene on the back of them, which can delaminate over time. They've got to be treated properly. And they're very expensive. Or you can get an 8-pound steel plate for as much as an average civilian may need that kind of armor. I would much rather tie the money up in steel than ceramic. Just a personal thing. what are the chances you're really going to need it? You got to do the cost benefit analysis, right? How much are you really going to wear that vest?
Right.
Just a thought. I mean,
Yeah. So Lynn Holt asked how much an MRAP costs.
I
Okay, so this is
can tell you.
You know, on my video, you guys saw the Paradigm Gurkha, and I've been around a lot of the Linco Bearcats. One of my jobs, along with somebody else, was to figure out how to stop and disable those vehicles. You guys know I did a lot with up armored stuff and executive protection, everything. If you don't, I did. And so it doesn't take much to stop one if you know what you're doing. Okay. You know, and I'm not going to call it by its name or anything else, but if you know what I'm talking about, all it takes is some copper and some coffee cans, and you're pretty much screwing anything up. And it's a very, very basic thing to make that's going to go through some of the heaviest armor you're ever going to encounter. It dates way back in the day.
Banana in the tailpipe trick.
Yeah, something like that. And it's nasty. It's nasty. But it doesn't take much to stop an up armored vehicle if you know what you're doing. It really doesn't.
The best
Tank is another story.
best ghillie suits out there are the ones you make, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. And you're taking the time to make it. But I mean, it takes a while to actually make a ghillie suit if you're going to do it right. There's a lot of weathering, a lot of mud pits, a lot of sun drying. It's not something you're going to do in a couple of days. You can, but a really, really good suit is just the base. You're going to veg it up. Whatever environment you're in, you're going to try all the material that you're going to be in with the vegetation that's around you. And that's what all plays into that. But you get a sense of accomplishment when you build one yourself.
Reinforce the fronts.
Spalling is the big thing with steel plate armor. Yes, it is.
That's the problem. I had bought some years back, and it didn't have any spalling protection. So I'm like, this thing's just basically I'm gonna get one to the jugular and be screwed.
There you go. Bingo, right there.
Hit
Not
the
that one.
thumbs
Not
up,
that
folks.
one.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's about
I
time.
clicked on the wrong one.
It's the drone.
What are you going to do with the drone?
Drone?
Well, it's funny.
Like a
I
real-
don't know, Ray. Did I ever tell you I was the MRAP program manager for sustainment for the armor program?
You did, yes.
Yeah, that's what I do for a living, still, to an extent. And those things are expensive.
Yeah, Red Tower knows exactly what I'm talking about right there. It cuts through butter through butter through our vehicles. And guys, these are so rudimentary. This is something we're not going to talk about it, but it's something that you could make probably in your house right now if you know what you're doing. And if not, you can go a couple streets down and steal some materials, take materials, whatever I'm saying, whatever it is. But it's very, very basic, and all it takes is somebody that's been exposed to it and know what it is, and it'll go through pretty much anything. You're not going to be safe in a vehicle or an up-armored vehicle.
So hopefully that makes you feel better tonight while you're trying to sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so conservative sniper hunter, do you guys have and ghillie suits for your environment? I do have a lot because it's something that I did in the past, and I have quite a few of them actually. I actually bought a couple, I made a couple, and the ones that you make, there's just nothing like them. They just work better, and you just kind of know it. So I have some that are lighter and some that are darker. And this is something to remember about camouflage. Anytime and if you guys have experience with this, chime in. I'd love to hear it. Darker is harder to work with. It's better to go lighter because you can make it darker with vegetation than to go really, really dark and try to lighten it. If you're in a lighter, let's say a light brown environment, and you've got this OD green ghillie suit that you always see in everything that you watch, the problem is you can't make that light enough unless you're just vegging it for hours, it seems. Dark sticks out in a lighter environment. Okay, you guys notice that, I mean, almost all the military camouflage changed when we started going to the Middle East, right? We started getting the light brown environments. You're just going to stick out like a sore thumb if it's too dark. What are your thoughts on it, Andrew?
I think if somebody's got thermal, I think you're screwed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But you're right.
People don't. I'm just talking about your average bad guy. You're not going to have thermals or.
We did some work with PEO Soldier. Okay. And we did a lot of the work with the camouflage stuff. And it's funny with all the millions and billions of dollars that we've spent on developing camouflage patterns and signature management.
Yep.
And it's signature management, right? We still can't get it right. But they go light, and a lot of guys do their own things. But you're definitely right. You can always darken stuff down.
Yeah.
You can never hardly make anything lighter.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other discussion that we can't get into.
Correct.
Is the cloak stuff real?
Depends on what you mean.
It's basically to hide signature. This is for thermal. I'm not talking about like ghillie suit shit.
I don't really want to talk about it here.
All right.
We'll talk about it another time, maybe.
Sounds good.
But there are fabrics out there that are very effective at managing signatures. And
there are.
I would say that the military, though, didn't do well at picking their camouflage. And I know they spent millions of dollars testing and all
they
that.
do a horrible job at it.
I got buddies that make better camo than any one that I've seen. Like, and there's like lots of different ones. You could go to freaking all these like Bass Pro shows and shit, and they're coming out with some really cool stuff that I think beats the military.
It might to the. You got to remember, a lot of stuff that appeals to us is not really effective. And I will tell you, if you start looking at camouflage patterns in under night vision, especially if you start really getting into it, you're going to know about this, Andrew, because you've dealt with a lot of the wraps and everything else. But the IR inhibitors that are in the paints and all of that has to be in the cloth and everything. It makes a huge difference.
The quad.
And, you know, and guys, so when you look at this, let's say this MRAP that's beige in color. Well, what you see is beige. What you don't realize is that paint has to have an IR reflectivity where it kind of absorbs it. It also has some other stuff in the light spectrum where your eyes don't pick it up. This is why a lot of, like the Bearcats, they have to have lead follow vehicles. They're not supposed to be driving them around unless they're going to a call, because people, even though they can be looking directly at it, that paint that's been added to it is actually less perceptive to the human eye. And that's visible light. There's a lot of technology that goes into it. Some of your older school camo patterns, when you look under NVGs, they do a better job than some of your newer stuff, depending on the foliage. It's science. It really is.
Kark. I have one word. Well, one word in a letter for you. It's called Kark Z.
Kark Z.
With a C or a K?
Z. Z is in zebra.
No, the Kark.
CARC, chemical and acid resistant coating.
Oh.
Ray
knows what Kark is.
Well, I was reading +5. +5 spent a lot of time overseas, from my understanding. I don't know if I can even say that. We'll just forget I said that.
He said it on.
Okay, everything depends on your opposition, and this came up one night. Some have high-tech means of radar sound and optical security, while others just are farmers with AKs walking around a dark field at night. You know, look at. I mean, I know rules of engagement were different, but look at what a group of guys walking around with AKs hiding up in the mountains and tunnels. I mean, they can wreak havoc on somebody.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to have organization. That's the thing. You have to be organized.
That damn barking dog will give you away every time.
Yep, that's why you got a shepherd.
Yeah. But yeah, that's very, very true what he's saying there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, conservative sniper hunter says that the gulch gear that Rick wore in New Mexico is very good. It is good, but it is good to who? Is it good to a human watching it? Is it good to a human with night vision? I mean, what is it? I mean, I agree. It is very effective. He can go into the woods and kind of blends in. He doesn't even have to go in the woods. But some of these digital patterns, you know, a lot of people hate
like
digital
those
patterns.
They
But if
suck.
you start looking at night vision and looking at some of these digital patterns, they disappear.
Yeah, but see, that Gulch gear is designed around all those blue lights and all that weird. They did all the testing on that. It has a signature, or these don't have.
Well, there's a lot of things that people don't understand, Ray. When you look at a military uniform and you look at it, what you're looking at is not what you necessarily are going to see.
Yeah.
And a lot of those fabrics that they're using are not just fabric.
Correct.
And people don't understand that. And that's why that shit is so expensive.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know if you've heard the latest, but you know do you know what Scorpion is?
No.
Okay, do you know what OCP is?
Yes.
Okay, so Scorpion and OCP, that is, I guess, the U.S. Army's version of multicam.
Yes.
So they don't have to pay crime. Okay?
Right.
Well, the problem is sourcing that fabric. And so
Yes.
we had a run of bags, and unfortunately that was nixed at first because it was actually true OCP. Well, guess what? You can't ship that overseas. It cannot leave the United States.
ITAR, baby.
There you go. There you go. And so you might say, well, it's just a fabric. It's just a pattern. It goes back to what Andrew's talking about. There's more to it than just a pattern. When we did these NMF bags, that's true mil-spec material we're using. There are no corners cut. You know, it is made in the USA. It's all USA sourced. You have to be able to provide where it was made, but there are restrictions with it. You know, got to be careful what you want.
Well, that's good too. I like that. They can't be.
Yeah, so I can ship the Coyote out, but I cannot ship the multicam out
Have a good night, Armament and Actress.
because it's not multicam.
Because it's not. Yeah.
But it is multicam.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, the government
All right,
stole that from
Yeah, they did.
Sky.
Yeah, so +5, I mean, that right there is so accurate because it's true. Intel is everything. And so when you're running as a team or something like that, it's all about intel. Snipers don't go around just shooting people all the time. It's about gathering information.
It's about shooting the right guy.
That's right.
Correct. But it's also being able to get in, get out, get the intel. And if needed, then you would do it. But if you're doing that and taking shots, you're giving away positions anyway. It's getting in and getting out and getting the information that's needed or watching.
That'd have to be after you got all these.
Yeah. You have to be a pretty patient person. You have to be able to sit motionless for a long time.
Well, ants and snakes are coming on.
I've been there and done that. Now, not a snake, but I've had ants. I've had spiders all over me. You know, I'm no different than anybody else. Anybody that's done it this way, I mean, you just kind of roll over and you're right there on the side. You can move. That's the thing. If you're in a place where you're just there for recon, that's what you're doing.
Have a good night, Joaquin.
Yep.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas.
Appreciate it, Joaquin. You take care. Have a Merry Christmas.
Have a happy.
But we're also not young guys anymore. A bunch of old farts sitting around.
That's right.
It's a young man's game.
That's
Drinking
it.
sweet
That's
tea
it.
and pissing every 10 minutes.
But never discount the old man, right?
That's right.
We got less to lose, and three hots,
right.
three hots of cots, and a free cable sounds pretty appealing to us.
That's right. That's it.
And we probably already did what you were trying to do.
Never indicted.
All right.
It never happened. All right. Well, we're at 2 hours of magical madness.
I think the two of you should get a room way above public understanding. I don't think so. I think most people. I think the people that research this do understand it, or if they don't, they're learning about it now because you're hearing about it for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not.
Hi, Joe.
You know, if you're referring to fabrics, it's not always.
Yo.
See you, Crowderman.
Can you put together a Christmas wrapping video? Let's see. I need
Kenny, you've been really quiet. What do you have to add
Yeah,
to the
what the
conversation?
hell, Kenny?
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Make it.
you
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I have no expertise or experience behind any of that at all.
Now he's just making money every time he pulls that handle. That's $1, $2, $3.
It's $2.23 right here.
There you go.
Right now.
Is it Ackley approved?
Not yet. That's my problem because the ones that I shot Ackley improved out of a different rifle don't work. So,
Kenny, I need you to read this because I think he asked this before. Here you go. This is for you.
okay. Any advice for someone wanting to learn how to chamber and thread barrels? Book, video recommendations. Gordy Gritters, I'd say go look at his books. He's referenced everything back in the early 90s and really hasn't changed much as far as how to chamber rifle barrels. If anything, take his class. I'm actually going to be taking his class pretty soon. That's somebody I look into.
Say the name again because it kind of came over messed up.
Is Gordy Gritters. Now he does the gunsmithing class. It's the accuracy rifle accuracy class there in Florida. You can take his class. I think he hosts 3 times a year. If anything, he has publications out since the 90s. There's books you could download. You could download on Amazon Kindle. You could also buy them on Amazon. I'd say go that route. And there's also free publications on rifle chamber, and then we have YouTube as well. But always verify because YouTube's YouTube, you know. So,
Would you recommend community college?
as far as a college, I don't know of one top of my head right now, but I personally.
No, taking machine classes.
Would you recommend going to a community college?
Yeah. Any kind of machining you could get behind, and you start learning your speeds and feeds and how material and how tool deflection, how it works on different machines as a lathe. That's all valuable information. There's no publications that you're going to read and understand. It's all OJT, on the job training. So you got to get hands on. That's what I recommend. But yeah, definitely any kind of class you can take for machining. So.
Nice. There was a question that I've seen them do some testing on.
No, come on down. You passed it already. It's right. Keep going. Right there. Conservative sniper hunter. Is that the one you're looking for at the very bottom?
Yeah.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I've seen where basically the initial blast will go through the building, depending on what it was, mud hut, concrete building, whatever, and then designed to blow up right past that wall that it penetrated.
Called the XM25.
There you go, the XM25, and it's real.
Yeah,
It's a thing.
What caliber is that?
25 millimeter.
Yeah, I think he was specifically asking
Rifle.
about one that was a rifle. That
It's a rifle.
for soldiers to carry.
Yes.
Soldier.
It's man portable.
Yep.
So it's 25 millimeter
Yes.
rifle.
Yes.
Yeah, we need.
It was made by ATK back when they were ATK. And it looked like a futuristic thing fired out of a magazine. It was a high-low pressure arrangement like a 40 millimeter grenade, and it had a programmable fuse to detonate before, at, or after a barrier for defilade, for defeating an enemy in defilade. And it worked, and they used them in Afghanistan with great success, and Iraq. They're out there. It was fielded. They used it. So, yes, they had it.
How do you tell the bullet what you want to do?
Program it. Hit the button. Use the laser scope on it. It'll tell you the distance to target. Tell it what you want it to do. At, before, on contact, or past penetration, or within a certain distance. It was programmable.
It was changeable as you're shooting, right?
Yes. It used electromagnetic programming on the bullet to program it for the number of rotations to the target, and it's based on rotation.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got some cool shit.
Yeah, we do have some cool shit. We spent a lot of money on that cool shit, too.
Can you send us one of those reviews, please?
I'll see what I can do. Let me call. I know a guy. Ray's probably got one.
No.
No, trust me.
I went fishing yesterday.
I would have shot that son of a bitch if we had one.
Well, guys, hey, listen, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. As always, just really cool. I've never seen that. Maybe SEAL Team 6 Dev Group using a full SFUs. I've never seen any of that stuff. Yeah, they had them out there, and it wasn't just Special Forces +5. So I got to get going. I have 1 day of work this week, and then I'm off until after the new year. So I'm gonna grind through tomorrow and just have a little bit of freedom.
Awesome. Well, we're ready to get out of here too as well.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Really appreciate talking to you.
Thank
Good seeing you.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to see you,
Bye, guys.
Billy.
All right, everybody. With that said, we are going. Kenny, you got anything to tell these great folks before we get on out of here?
Not much, man. I've been slacking on videos. I'm trying to catch up and do your challenge, which I heard your live chat the other day.
Oh, you're going to actually try that after a year.
So I've done it. I just never filmed it. That's the problem. So
You ain't ever.
never got to editing it.
I know you said you passed it too, but
Yeah, no, it's hard, man. I kid you not. I think anybody that should do that challenge really see what kind of skill set it is. It's a humbling experience. I tell you that. It really
it's
is.
just a quest for knowing your cold bore shot. And
You know I have the targets now for step 2, right?
yeah, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. All right, we'll leave that a secret until you guys.
That's only the first part of the test, Kenny.
I
Now
know. There's a
now we were
Shit, I
trying to
don't
get
even
these
think I could
targets.
pass this.
We were trying to get these targets that were used in step 2, and we actually were able to get some. And they're basically they're superimposed brain stems on targets, but they're on the backside, so you can't see it. And what it does is different profiles of heads, and so you have to know based on your angle and what basically where you're shooting at, where you can hit it. So he has to take an X amount of shots. I have the course of fire. Then you're going to take it and flip it over around to the light because it's going to move based on your perspective and see how he does.
Yeah, dude. Let me know, man. Whatever I could do to. I mean, if I got to get plates or whatever, I definitely just really work on that skill set, man, because it really takes quite a bit of skill set to hit a 3-inch plate the first time at 300 yards or whatnot. You know, it's really hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I think he's talking about something different.
This is at 100 yards, 1-inch dot.
I've been doing 300 3-inch.
Oh no, but he's been doing what? How big's the target?
3-inch at 300. What are you doing?
Same.
1 minute.
Okay, it's still a minute. 3-inch is still a minute at 300. You know, I've
Yeah,
got more.
but it's you can't break the pasty. You know, the edge of it's got to be right in the middle, and it's got to be the cold bore shot.
It doesn't have to be dead middle. You just can't break the edge.
You can't break the edge. Yeah.
So Skull right there has an advantage. So I built the 6.5 for him, and the cold bore is always in the same hole. I only have 2 left.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's why he says that.
Yeah.
Now, +5, take care. He says, Skull says, Kenny, do you need me to send my rifle back for the challenge?
That thing
the cold bore shot is a big one. All right, we are going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody showing up.
Enjoyed it. We never know what we're going to talk about.
You never know. That's why I can't even name the chat because I just have no idea.
And Merry Christmas to everyone.
And to all a good